Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to talk about completely transforming how we teach language skills. In this session, we're going to dive into turning those, let's be honest, sometimes dreaded grammar and composition lessons into something dynamic, something engaging, all by using the power of games.
So let's just start with the big question, the one that I think every single one of us has faced. I can still remember staring out at a sea of blank faces while trying to explain the past participle. It can really feel like you're teaching a totally foreign language, right? So how do we take this subject that can feel so rigid, so intimidating, and turn it into something our students are actually excited about? How do we make it finally click for them? Well, that is exactly what we're here to figure out.
All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll kick things off by exploring the why, the actual pedagogy behind why games are such a powerful learning tool. Then, we're diving straight into the how, with two super practical toolkits. One for really mastering grammar, and another for unleashing creativity in composition. After that, we'll connect the dots between the two, and finally, we'll talk about how you can weave all of this into your own unique teaching style.
Okay, so before we jump into all the fun and games, literally, let's lay a little groundwork. It's so important to understand why this approach is so incredibly effective. What's the educational magic that makes it all work?
Think about it. Games just fundamentally change the entire vibe of a classroom. They lower the stakes, which is huge because it reduces that fear of making a mistake. And when that fear goes down, motivation skyrockets. Suddenly you have this relaxed, stress-free environment where real learning can actually happen. Instead of just memorizing abstract rules, students start to internalize them naturally, through practice. They start using language in a way that feels meaningful, not just mechanical. It's kind of like the difference between learning to swim by reading a book versus actually getting in the water.
This quote here really gets to the heart of it all. This is our guiding principle for today. We're trying to move away from just rote memorization and get to a deep, intuitive understanding. The goal is for our students to actually feel the rhythm of the language, not just be able to recite its rules.
All right, time to get practical. Let's open up our first toolkit. This one is focused specifically on building those absolutely crucial grammar skills. Think of these next 5 things as essential tools for any language teacher's belt.
First up, we've got the sentence building game. Just picture this. You hand your students a little stack of cards, a subject, a verb, an object, maybe a few other things, and they get to physically arrange them to build a correct sentence. All of a sudden, the abstract idea of syntax becomes this tangible puzzle they can solve with their own hands. I'm telling you, it is a total game changer for really understanding word order.
Okay, next is the tense chain game. This one is all about working together and staying consistent. One student starts a story in, let's say, the past tense. The next student has to add a sentence, but they have to keep it in the past tense. If they switch, the chain is broken. It's a fantastic way to practice tense agreement on the fly and really build a strong sense of narrative flow.
With tool number 3, you get to turn your students into grammar detectives. Seriously, in the error detection game, you become the mystery writer and you craft sentences with some deliberate mistakes in them. Working in teams, your students have to hunt for the errors and fix them. This isn't just about spotting mistakes, it's about developing the sharp, analytical editing skills that every good writer needs.
The substitution drill is a quick, high-energy activity you can do orally. You give a base sentence, something simple like, the cat sat on the mat. Then you prompt students to swap out a word, dog for cat, or maybe under the chair for on the mat. It is perfect for reinforcing those core sentence patterns and building confidence through repetition, but without being boring.
And last but not least in this toolkit, for a shot of pure energy, you have got to try the Grammar Quiz Relay. This turns what could be a dull review session into a thrilling competition. Teams line up, and it's a race against the clock to answer grammar questions one by one. It promotes lightning-fast recall and builds an incredible sense of teamwork. It's the perfect way to make reinforcement feel like a victory lap.
Okay, so we've built a solid grammar foundation. Now, let's level up. Our second toolkit is all about taking those skills and applying them to the beautiful art of composition and creative writing. Our first composition tool uses the power of visuals to unlock creativity. It's the picture-based story game. You show your students a single, intriguing image, or maybe a series of them, and you just ask them to build a story around it. This is a brilliant way to kickstart their imagination and get them thinking about things like narrative structure and how to build a good paragraph.
Now this one is similar to our tense game, but with a twist. The story chain is all about collaborative storytelling. One person starts with a single sentence, and everyone else adds on one sentence at a time. The real challenge here is to maintain the story's continuity
and make sure each sentence connects logically and grammatically to the one that came before it. The jumbled paragraph game is just a fantastic little puzzle. You take a perfectly good paragraph, chop it up into individual sentences, and scramble them all up. The student's job? Put it back together in the right logical order. This activity makes the pretty abstract idea of coherence totally tangible and teaches them how to structure their own paragraphs way more effectively.
Okay, time for some really practical application. With the dialogue completion game, you give your students little scripts, but with lines missing. They have to fill in the blanks in a way that actually makes sense within the conversation. This is an excellent tool for teaching functional grammar and showing how language is really used in context, day to day.
Our final composition tool is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. In the title-to-text game, you just give them a title, like A Memorable Day, and their job is to write a short paragraph that fits that topic. This really encourages them to brainstorm, structure their thoughts around a central theme, and focus on developing relevant content. So, we have these two fantastic toolkits, but here is the real secret. Their true power is unlocked when we stop thinking of them as separate things. The magic, the real learning, happens when we build a direct bridge from a grammar game straight into a writing task.
Just take a look at how this works in practice. After a really lively round of the tense chain game, you could have your students immediately write their own short story using only the past tense. Or, after they've sharpened their detective skills in the error detection game, have them apply those exact skills by peer editing a partner's story. This kind of integration ensures that grammar isn't just some abstract exercise, it becomes a powerful tool they can use right then and there to improve their own writing.
And that brings us to our final and maybe our most important point. This is all about how we, as educators, view these activities, not as fun little diversions, but as essential, serious instruments in our teaching practice.
I want you to let this idea really sink in. These games aren't just a fun break. They're not just a way to fill the last 10 minutes of class on a Friday afternoon. They are precision-engineered pedagogical tools. Each one is designed to achieve a very specific learning objective. And when we treat play with that level of purpose, it becomes one of the most effective teaching strategies we have. So, we've explored the why, and we've equipped you with a toolkit of 10 powerful games. You now have real strategies to transform your classroom into a vibrant, truly engaging learning space. So the only question left is, which one of these tools will you use to start building that transformation tomorrow?